Okay guys, so before I start this video, which actually that doesn't make sense because I've already started this video, but before you watch this video, please click the links below and watch the previous videos. I'll link them in the description below and I'll label them video 1 and video 2 so that way you can make sense of this conversation, because this is going to be a talking mukbang, or is it mukbang? Let me know. Is it mukbang or mukbang? Because I've heard it both ways. Before you watch this video, go ahead and watch the other two, because the story that I'm going to tell is related to those other videos, and you might get a little bit lost in the story or confused if you don't watch those first to hear where I'm coming from. So I'll wait. Do 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 do. All right. So, did you guys watch those other videos? Pause this one and watch the other one. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be a talking mukbang, and I'm going to go ahead and continue on the story that I've been explaining about where we're going. And just to branch off on that, as the story has now evolved and our thought process has changed, and I figure that, you know, if I'm voicing out loud, thinking out loud of my thoughts and what we've been coming on, some other people might have their own thoughts to add to the story from their own knowledge or their own opinions and walks of life, or I can help other people trying to make hard decisions like this, or give some insight. So let's start off. Today, I did a mukbang before and I uploaded it, but it was like a super fail. I was trying to make it all professional and whatnot, but then I watched a YouTuber and watched a bunch of YouTube videos how to do a mukbang, and I realized that, you know, I heard from some YouTubers, and one particular said, you know, do a mukbang, be you, show your personality, and eat the food, enjoy the food, and eat it like, you know, you're talking to a friend or a family member that's sitting right next to you, or across from you. So I'm going to show who I am. I'm going to eat food that I like and something that might be interesting to you guys. And yeah, so learn a little bit about me, and you guys can be my friend, and hopefully this mukbang will be a success. So let's start off with the food, because that's what a mukbang is usually about, or it's a mukbang. I don't know. So I've got here a burrito, and I've got some beans, and I was going to put spinach in my burrito or in the beans, but I like raw spinach. I prefer raw spinach over cooked spinach, unless of course you're making like cream of spinach soup or spinach dip. That's another story. So, and then I've also got my favorite water bottle, Hydro Flask. Keeps your water cold all day long, even in the heat. My favorite water bottle. Not sponsored. Wish it was, but that's another story. Yeah, still cold. So, I prefer cold water over warm water, room temperature water. I think I got that from my dad. What do you prefer? Warm water, room temperature water, tea? What's your drink of choice? Let's have a discussion down below. Yeah, so in this burrito, oh my gosh, okay, I'm excited to show you guys. I'm gonna cut it so that I can give you a cross section, or maybe I should just eat it because otherwise it would fall apart. So in this burrito, guys, is vegan eggs. That's right, I said yes. Scrambled vegan egg burrito. You guys, if you want to know how to make this, let me know and I can go ahead and do a food tutorial, recipe video, whatever, in my other food and nutrition channel, and I can go ahead and link that. So let me know if you want the recipe for this once it's getting. But guys, then I've also got some beans, which I made these beans. You can also use canned beans. You make the beans the same way. So you take the beans and the juice, and you guys, I like to cook my beans with onions and garlic, and then after they're cooked, or if you're using canned beans, you can just put onions and garlic, cooked onions and garlic, and throw that in your canned beans. And then when they're done, I like to put some taco seasoning on it, because you can't put salt in your beans because they won't cook, so you put them in after. So I like to put taco seasoning and some salt. So yeah, and I have some more salt here because I don't try to overly salt it because I'm sharing it with my family and they're not like me, who's the super Jewish taste food wise and loves the salt. So you can see there's pieces of garlic in here. I made sure to get the pieces of garlic because that is yum. Yep. Oh my gosh. So John's dad grows elephant garlic, and it's these huge friggin' garlic cloves, but they're so pungent, like one clove for an entire dish for a family. Your eyes bug out of your head. Oh my gosh, so good. If I ever get land to do my own thing, I would totally grow elephant garlic. I thought it was just big garlic, but no, whatever he grows, I want, because it's like spicy and garlicky and yum. But guys, look, I've melted a little bit of Violife cheese on here. Guys, if you've never tried Violife, not sponsored, but if you've never tried Violife, you need to. It's so friggin' good. Like, guys, cheese, like cheese. Oh my gosh. Look, let's see if I can show you. Oh my gosh. Violife cheese. Like, this is cheesy. Look at cheese. Okay, guys, these beans are so good. With that taco seasoning. Now, to put on my burrito, but really, guys, I'm going to add some salt. Really, guys, this is, oops, excuse me, am I blocking the screen? How do you salt your food without blocking the screen? For those of you who've ever filmed mukbangs, how do you do it without, there we go, sort of, kind of. All right, whatever. How do you do it without blocking the screen? Anyway, so these are the beans. Yum. I just got a piece of that garlic. So hot. That garlic, man, it's pungent. I don't chop up my garlic when I put them in here because the garlic gets like super soft and it just melts in your mouth, but the spice is still there. Roasted garlic though, my favorite. If you've never tried garlic in your beans, put some garlic cloves in your beans and they'll melt right up. No idea where that accent came from, but let's get into this burrito and then I'll tell you my story here before I rant on too long. I'm just going to take a bite. But to put in my burrito, I've got some ketchup. Yes, I'm holding the label because this is not a sponsored video, so I don't want to show the brand names just in case. I don't know how YouTube is. They've gotten really strict and weird with their algorithm, so excuse me, preferably not. And yes, I know I'm almost out of ketchup. I got 2 new bottles that I bought from Costco, but I wanted to use this one up first. And also for my burrito, I've got some sriracha. Spicy ketchup is what I like to call it. Don't know where that accent came from. Well, let's just take a bite of this burrito. In this burrito, I put some vegan sour cream. Now, there's a ton of brands of vegan sour cream, but I've been experimenting with making my own. And there's a ton of really good ones out there. Not the best, but I have found some ones that I really, really do like. So I've been experimenting with making my own. So let me know if you guys want to see more about that. But let's get this spoon out of the picture. So, let's just take a bite of spirit. I put vegan sour cream. Again, I put some Violife cheese in here. And I put just a tortilla. Not like a burrito size, just regular. And I put enough to make the equivalent of 2 eggs. And then, of course, salt and pepper. Because I prefer a softer, more moist egg. Sorry, I said moist. I know, like, I just said it twice. And a lot of people don't like that word, but words don't bother me. So, anyways, yeah, sorry for that. But, yeah, so I also put that in there, which is a regular tortilla. And I know some people like a really dry, like, that's the opposite of me and John. He likes really, like, bone dry eggs. And I like them moist and soft. I don't know. Let me know down below. Why do people not like the word moist? Why is it so gross? Why is a word gross sounding to somebody? Let me know. Let's have a conversation about words. But, yeah, let's take a bite of this burrito and show you what the inside looks like. Because I was going to cut it, but then it would be like, you know, just it'd fall apart and be a big old mess. So let's just take a bite. I'm watching myself on camera. Excuse me. I don't know if it's weird. Me talking with my mouth full. But this is a mukbang or a mukbang or whatever. So I don't know if people like that or not, or what the rules are for mukbangs or mukbangs. But watching myself eat on camera. Excuse me, I just covered my face. But, oh, it's like, I don't know if it's weird watching myself eat, or I guess I just got to get over my insecurities and, you know, just be me. I'm eating. Don't think about the camera, you know. Just think about me and say that my friend is on the other side, or my family, and I'm just talking to them. I don't even look at myself. Just look at the camera. So I'm trying to do that. But, yeah, so here's the inside of my burrito. I don't know how the lighting is showing, but there's the inside. Looks eggy. I really see. Guys, you guys, if you have never tried Violife cheese, you gotta. Like, it's friggin' amazing. Not sponsored, but I wish it was. Like, Violife cheese, if you're a cheesehead, you will definitely adore it. Like, you'll go through a lot of that. That's going to be your paycheck. Be Violife cheese. So, first, I'm going to try it with some ketchup. Actually, the way I like to eat it is put ketchup and then put some sriracha on top of the ketchup. You don't like that? It's so good. But, anyways, this is supposed to be a talking mukbang about my story. So, anyway, I'm like all into the food and not getting into the dang story. So, let me just continue to eat my burrito. And do you guys like ketchup? Do you guys like sriracha? I know ketchup is a really popular thing on eggs. And like before I met John, I didn't even think of ketchup on eggs. Well, I knew it was a thing, but John puts ketchup on everything, and I started doing it just because I was curious. It tastes good. And yeah, ketchup really does taste good on eggs, in my personal opinion. Not my favorite, but if you mix it with the sriracha and on this burrito, it's pretty good. So, anyways, I'm going to get to my story. Now, I don't know about you, but I prefer raw spinach. So, when I take a bite of my food, I like to put some raw spinach in there as well. So I like to do one bite of raw spinach and one bite of food. But first the food, then the raw spinach, and then chew it up. This is how I like to eat. So, so getting back to my story before this video gets extremely long. Originally in my last video, I had talked about where we're going and what our future looks like. And we still don't know exactly what our future looks like, but I told my mom that we had looked at, where was it? We looked at a lot of places in California, and we looked at, I just dropped the bean. Oh, man. So we were looking at a lot of different places, Excuse me one moment. I need to check on the kids real quick. Life of a mom. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, we had looked at Eureka County, which I had mentioned. No, not Eureka County, but Eureka, which is next to Humboldt on the coastline. And I did a lot of research on it and found that it's one of the safest places to live in California. Also, one of the cheapest as well. And I've been finding some decent prices. And originally we were talking about, which I mentioned in the other video, where we would move out of state. And the thing about it is that if we were to move out of state, our lease is up March 9th, so we need to be ready 100% to just pick up and leave and go and have a plan, know where we're going to work, where we're going to live, and what we're going to do when we get there. So originally we were talking about leaving state and where we would go, etc., etc. And the problem with that is that we figured a lot of employers probably wouldn't hire, because my mom was talking about, look for where the jobs are first. And then decide whether or not where those jobs are, if it's worth it to you. To go live there. So we looked at a lot of places, and the thing is narrowing it down. We figured that it would be really hard to get a job out of state because you need a job before you get to wherever you're going. I thought that it would be pretty difficult to find a job out of state and have them hire you before you've even moved there. Because first of all, the employer doesn't know where you'll be established. The employer doesn't know that once you get there, where are you going to stay, and you're not established. And if you're already in the same state, then they know you've been established in the state and you're going to stay in the state and that they're willing to hire you, So we figured that we don't want to move extremely far away from our families. So there's that. And we researched Eureka, and Eureka feels like the middle of nowhere, but you're close enough to a town and a city, and a Humboldt, where Humboldt is it's really happening. It's a college town. And we looked at jobs, and a lot of the jobs that are available, they pay $18 to $25 an hour for you to work in the cannabis industry, which is medical marijuana. John has some experience in that, you know. So we figure if that, you could rent a 2-bedroom house for $750 in town, and if you made 18 to 25 bucks an hour, you'd be living the good life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we did like that, and the fact that you kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, but you're not necessarily in the middle of nowhere because you got a town. I looked it up. There's a Safeway, there's a Costco, there's even a Target, like all the places we like to go and that we shop. So then my mom was all gung-ho on it, because originally she was thinking out of state, and that's mostly due to the fact that out of state would be, she figured, based on how much we would pay for a place versus the quality of life, because her price for buying, which she would buy and then we would help her, we would help her pay it off. So the amount for buying, whoops, at least that ended on the plate. Well, so the amount for buying, we would think, would be, she said, would be $250,000. So she didn't think that that would be viable in California for what you would get, and or that there is anything that exists, or that the quality of life would be good based on how much taxes you pay or how much you would pay per month for rent. You know, ooh, boy, I look tired. Mom life. Life when you have tiny children. But, so, we did find some in Eureka, and we explained her all the stuff why we liked it, and, you know, I feel like I would prefer to raise my children in somewhere that's nature, but you can still get socialized and do the normal city things, that, and rather than a concrete jungle, you know, because there's no nature, and you're, you know, it's technology, city, and no outside beauty things. But, so, I figured there's that. So she was all gung-ho for it, whatever, and then we decided, we're going to take an Amtrak over there. So Amtrak's website now doesn't allow you to book on their website, because you have to have the app. Everything's a freaking app. Like, what the heck? So, we called Amtrak and asked them for an itinerary, because I saw that there was an Amtrak station in Eureka. And so we were originally going to fly, because we figured it would be a short flight, but there's no airport in Eureka that I found. It's in Humboldt, which you can drive pretty quickly from Humboldt to Eureka. So, yeah, we're going to go look at it, and I found some houses there, townhouses with yards, and your backyard's the big old forest or whatever, and I thought that was cool because they were super inexpensive, like less than $800, which is great because we'd be living the high life, you know what I mean? And so we were going to do that, and then so we looked, and we were going to originally fly, but to fly to Humboldt when we wanted to go would be $1,000 round trip per person. Like, why so expensive? And then I looked it up, and it's friggin' Delta Airlines. Like, come on! Delta Airlines originally banned certain breeds, service dog or not, doesn't matter. They banned certain breeds on their airlines, and they have since taken that ban off because they found out that the Transportation Authority deemed that illegal. But there's no pit bulls allowed. No, they had like a whole breed list. But it just pisses me off. But that's a whole nother story. But they're gouging. That company just does that, and it seems like, you know. So then we decided we were going to take Amtrak train. So we looked it up and we wanted to get a sleeper. So, so we could all be comfortable and have like a nice vacation out of it. So I called them. It takes about 18 hours to take the Amtrak, but they said that it's not a long enough trip to take a sleeper, because I think that they need 24 hours or whatever for a sleeper minimum. So that's fine. We were just, okay, well, we'll just take the Streamliner or whatever it's called and just go all the way there. But it turns out that you have to take a bus, then a train, like transfer in Bakersfield, and then transfer to the commuter train, and then transfer somewhere else, and then take another bus to Eureka, which is fine. And I was like, yeah, we could totally do that. But my mom was like so unwilling to sit on a bus. Like, she was like, no, she just wouldn't do it. So I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. We'll just drive there. But it takes 10 hours to drive straight through. And we've got the kids, and I'm breastfeeding, and, whatever. It's going to be hard with the kids 3 days in the car, because you're going to do 1 day drive there, 1 day drive around the town, and then 1 day to drive back. So it'll probably take 13, 14 hours with the kids, getting out, stopping for breaks, going to eat, doing body, breastfeeding, because you can't take your kid out of the car so you can breastfeed him in the car. That's freaking dangerous and illegal. So, yeah. So she was like, no, maybe it's too hard to get to. She said there has to be a reason why it's so cheap. She was like, yeah. She was like, there has to be a reason why it's so cheap, because it's freaking hard to get to. And I don't think it's just hard to get to, maybe. It's just from here. And then she was like, well, if you move there, because she would buy a house and then we would go live there. Well, first we would rent there and then decide where we would want to buy after. But she would buy a house and then we would live there, and then when she retired, she would come up. But then she was like, oh, well, you're so far that you wouldn't be able to visit it often, because it's not convenient to just get there. Like from Sacramento, we were just able to fly down in like an hour and say hello, like once a month or whatever. But this is not the case, because it's only freaking Delta Airlines. It pisses me off. But that's a whole nother story. So then we, we're going to be like, okay, so what do we do next? And so she said, go ahead and look, starting from the closest places to here, like all the way south, going all the way up the state, and researching it, because we figured just between family and jobs and the expense of moving, like, let's say we picked a state and we wanted to move. We got to go visit the cities and go see if we like them. So we fly over there, drive over there, or whatever, visit it. And then if we don't like it, that's all that time and money wasted. And we don't have that kind of time or have that kind of money, because we're on a budget. John's like struggling right now, and we don't got time or money to be going and visiting all those other states, because our lease is up on March 9th. So maybe we would move out of state after our family is gone and we don't have anybody else here. And then wherever we had purchased, we would go ahead and just rent that out, and then go ahead and buy our rent in another state, and then have our place that we're renting out as like a passive income. But that's way in the future. For now, we're thinking about staying in California. So then we also looked into Temecula, which, I don't know. Temecula to me was like old retired people and a bunch of antique stores, like antique shops, whatever. But apparently, it's like super developed now, according to my sister. And you're not far from like driving to Palm Springs or driving to Riverside or driving wherever it is to go work, even if there's not that much work in Temecula. But there might be now, just because it's getting more and more developed, but because it's getting more developed, it's getting more expensive. So you can get a prefab like mobile home for an okay price in Temecula. But then we started looking at land, and with the what we can afford, oh my gosh, guys, like, dude, I found some really nice pieces of land way under $250,000 that were very viable, but they had avocado trees on the land. Oh my gosh, like, it was super exciting. They had avocado trees on the land, because it's super exciting. I love avocados. And then they said that you could also use that for income, because that's how many avocados were there. But anyway, so that's besides the point. What I'm saying is I'm trying to say, the land was like whatever, how much it was, and then like 189 or whatever. So then if we bought that land, and it would be hard to buy just land, like, that's not been plowed out flat and is ready for water and electricity and that, because that would cost a lot more and be a lot more, within the time frame that we have. We don't, because we're not renewing our lease, we wouldn't have time to rent a house. I mean, to build a house. So that's out of the question. But, man, I ate all that. Like, I was super hungry, and I didn't even finish my conversation. But whatevs. Do you guys like this? So let's finish. Ooh, you know what we should do? Move on to dessert. Just because I still have some conversations going. But if anybody who knows me knows that I talk too much. So let's move on to dessert. I've got a coconut. I'm a nut bar. Wait, how does that song go? Lovely bunch of coconuts, something, something coconuts. I don't know. That was like a big thing in the 90s. But, yeah. So I've got a coconut, young coconut. So good for you. So many electrolytes. All right. So, is this coconut in the way? Right. Let me put this aside and get this out of the frame, because this is a cake tray, but I was using that to hold my plate, and the lighting it makes me washed out, and the lighting gets weird, so I'm trying not to get out of frame while I set this down. But anyways, so that, and we couldn't find like a decent priced housing in Temecula, so that's one thing. Ooh, nice and cold. But yeah, so we were thinking that, and then my mom mentioned Riverside, but the thing I have a problem with in Riverside is that it's friggin' pollution. Like, the friggin' air is so nasty, you don't want to live there. And then my sister also mentioned, when I was talking to her, she mentioned that there is lots of crime. So, there is that. And then that's another thing. And it's not like we could just move to Palm Springs or whatever, because, like, there's no economical opportunities. What would you do? If you don't own a business, like, depending on where you work, the job could be seasonal, because summer is not, like, a popular touristy time for Palm Springs. So, yeah, what would you do? How would you make money? And stuff is super expensive there now. It's not like how it used to be and be cheap. It's like a major development now. So then we were discussing it, and John was like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter to me as long as I know how much I need to make and where I can get work, and that you guys are happy. I'm cool with it, So he figured he wanted to be in a big kind of a metropolitan area, because he figured that he can get a job anywhere doing anything, because he's kind of the jack of all trades. So he can go ahead and work wherever and he'll do good at it as long as they pay enough for whatever it is. So then my mom said, well, she didn't have time because she's opening up a new location for her restaurant, and she didn't have time for, going and seeing the place maybe in winter, but then we want to make sure, because we want to rule everything out or pick our options because we have such a short period of time. And it's not like we have to decide right now, but I was just super excited because like, Eureka, 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 I love it. But then I need to do more research. So, I was just going all crazy because I was super excited, but because it sounded like something amazing. But, then again, if something sounds too good to be true, it might be. So that's something. And then my mom was saying, oh, well, I might have time here and there, giving me specific time frame of when she would be able to go. And she was saying, oh, it might take 3 or 4 days to do the whole round thing and go visit and whatever. So she was going to say, oh, I'll drive up there is what she said. And she was like, I'll go see it, and if I like it, then John can drive up there, because John was saying, oh, yeah, I should go visit it, because he always picks what we like, we meaning me and the children, since he's not as picky as me, as long as he has a great internet connection and a nice area to go ahead and work. So he said he was going to drive up there by himself and go take a look. But then my mom said she wants to drive up there first and see if she likes it. And then if she likes it, then she would send John up there by himself to go look. So I don't know. Eureka is still an option. And we did like Temecula, but we're still looking. If we did buy land in Temecula, we would have about $60,000 left to go ahead out of our $250,000 budget to go ahead and build something. So I know we wanted to build some container houses, like the shipping container houses, and we wanted to build some sandbag houses, but there's also a lot of regulation on size and what you can and cannot build. So it also depends on how much work you're willing to do yourself. And John said that his dad might come down and go ahead and help us, but we still need a contractor, and we still need someone to write the blueprints. But if you guys have never had a young coconut, you totally should. It's like, it's not coconut milk in the middle. It's coconut water, which is way different, and so many electrolytes and less fat, and so refreshing. But anyways, so yeah, we would need to see how much that would cost to get the blueprints, get all the supplies, build most of it ourselves if we can, which I suck at building. My mom sucks at building. So it'd be John, like, telling us what to do. So that's another thing. But so we want to see if we could do it with $60,000 or under, because Temecula is still close enough to visit for my mom and close enough to my sister to come and visit too. And it's getting more developed, which also means it's getting more expensive, but getting more developed means there might be jobs in Temecula or even close by if we don't live there or work there specifically. So yeah, we were also looking into Yucaipa, which my sister says Yucaipa is also really nice and getting more developed, and that there's potential there as well. But definitely Eureka is still high on my list and still high on everybody's list. But that's with never have gone there and just research from the internet. So I have been through Temecula a bunch of times, but, it's kind of the middle of nothing. But who knows? It's getting more developed now. Yeah, so I don't know what else there is. But if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you know where in California is safe, that's the reason too that I really like Eureka, is it's super safe. It's on the list for the safest cities in California, as well as the cheapest, so safe and cheap and good places to work. But then my mom did say there has to be a reason as to why it's so cheap. And I figure like a lot of people just who live there stay in their own little section of California. Excuse me, I kicked that cake tray that I had my plate on. But yeah, so they stay in their own little section of their California and just don't leave it. And I don't know if it's hard to get to or what the case is, but my mom says there has to be a reason as to why it's so cheap. And because it's such a small town area, that there might be drama. Like, there's only drama if you listen to the drama. There's only drama if you get involved in the drama. There's only drama if you make drama. So even if it is a small town, well, then you get out of the drama. There's Humboldt there, and there's a lot of opportunity for our children to advance and do well. So I think that that's also an option. We're still looking into Temecula and seeing if we can, what the regulations are on building a container house, and if we can do it for $60,000 or under, because that's how much left of our budget we would have after we bought land. But then a lot of the land is hilly and you would have to flatten it out, or a lot of the land is not even developed yet, as far as they didn't flatten out the land and put a well there or a place to get electricity or good internet or even TV, which I know those are all first world problems, but it's satellite dishes for the television. So that is something, and we do need good internet because that's what obviously I use for business and John uses for, doing job applications and contacting people. And, we do need it for our particular lifestyle. So because I do plan on doing homeschool charter with my children, that it's very important that we have that internet connection to go ahead and school them in the way that we want to raise them. So, that's something to also consider. But if you live in the United States, where do you live? Or where do you want to live and why? If you live in California, where do you live and do you like it? Do you not like it? Where do you live? Let me know. Let's have a conversation about where you live and why you want to live there. So where should I go? What should we do next? We're on the hunt and on the search. So stay tuned and I'll bring you guys along to continue this conversation. And as it evolves, you guys will go ahead and be part of that journey. So yeah, let's have a discussion. And I hope you guys like this eating mukbang. I feel like I could be more myself and just eat and not think about the camera and just talk to you as though you are really here. And I want you guys to feel like I'm here with you and I'm being a part of your life. And so, I'm trying to be more motivational and I'm trying to be more of a role model, not just for myself and for you guys, but for my kids. And so, what are you guys doing to better your life? Are you going to move? Are you going to start a new career? You guys should do something today that makes you happy and betters your future. So let me know what that is. And if you need any suggestions or any help, let me know. So I guess that's all my ranting for today. I'm going to go finish my coconut and go to the gym. So I'll talk to you guys later. And wait, I can't go to the gym. I got to wait till John gets home because I can't leave the kids. But I guess I'll get some work done. Clean in my house, because I actually found out since I now have a fitness watch that you burn a lot of calories depending on what you're doing clean in the house. So it's not about burning the calories, it's about getting a good workout too. But I guess I'm gonna stop ranting. And yeah, thanks for having lunch with me, and hopefully this one's not a fail. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.